I'm Shanna and
And I'm Monte Cook.
And we're going to tell you a little bit about No Thank You Evil. In No Thank You Evil, players create characters, and they play the game as those characters.
And the different characters have a different level of complexity and sophistication based on the age of the player. So for example, a younger player, maybe 5 years old, creates a fun-to-play character like a robot. An older player, maybe 8 years old, has a character that is slightly more sophisticated, like a fast spy who loves pizza. In either case, these kids can play in the same game together at the same time because these characters will work together. One of the players, probably the adult to start with, but perhaps later on an older child who wants to give it a try, takes on the role of the guide. The guide's job is to guide the other players through the story and determine how difficult things are. So in the game, you roll a standard 6-sided die in order to determine whether you succeed or fail. You know what number you need to roll on that die by what the guide decides as far as how difficult it is. The players, however, can influence this by using one of 4 different stats that define their character. So for example, every character has tough, fast, smart, and awesome. That 4th pool is particularly cool because it defines how well you are in helping other people.
Every character also has a companion. This might be an invisible friend, a fiery dragon, or a robot dog. Their companion goes everywhere with them, and sometimes their companion can help them out.
So let's look at an example. The characters are exploring the wilderness, and they come upon a river, and they want to jump across. Now the guide determines how difficult he or she thinks that might be, and assigns a number that they now need to roll on the die. That number is called the goal. A player, however, can decide that they want to try harder. And try harder means that they spend a point out of one of those stat pools we mentioned to make the task easier.
Another player can also be awesome, and they can spend 1 awesome point to help that player, lowering their goal even 1 more.
So let's say the guide decided that they needed a 4 as their goal to get across the river. Now we've got the character who's jumping, and they've spent a point out of their tough pool, so that's now made it a 3. But the awesome
character has decided to be awesome, and they spend a point to lower it 1 more, so now it's a 2.
Right, and so now that player just needs to roll a die and get a 2 or higher to get across the river.
One of the great things about this game is that it encourages creativity. So let's say the players don't want to jump across the river. They want to build a raft or ride their companion or maybe build a rope swing and swing across the river. They can do any of those things. What happens is the guide decides how difficult that is and tells them the goal. And so building a rope swing is probably harder than jumping, but the players can absolutely try it.
Or the kids might decide to go in a completely different direction. Anything's possible in this game. Anything that the kids can imagine can happen, as long as the guide is there to guide them to the next part of the story. We hope that you and your family will find No Thank You Evil to be a really fun experience, something that'll bring you all together to the game table, and that you will enjoy it for years to come.
We think No Thank You Evil is going to be tons of fun for you and your family.